With this lecture, we begin our unit on producer behavior and supply. In the preceding unit of consumer behavior and demand, we studied that the consumer demand goods to satisfy their wants. But where do these goods come from? This is the question. These goods and services come from a producer or a firm who produces goods and services and sells in the market in order to earn a profit. Okay. Now in this unit we'll study the supply side representing the sellers or the producers. Now production is conventionally defined as a process in which all the inputs that you use in the production of goods is converted into output, that is the commodity that you want to sell in the market. Now supply of a product, it depends on costs of the inputs and the cost of hiring inputs, that is the cost that you incur on buying land, buildings, labor, machines, raw material, power and so on. On the other hand, the firm sells this output which is produced from the usages of these inputs and earns a income which is known as the revenue. Difference between the total revenue and the total cost is the profit to the firm. Okay. Again, I'm repeating that the production is a technical process in which the inputs of production are converted into output. So we'll study the present unit in 4 units. I have divided into 4 units. First, we will understand the concept of production function and returns to factor. The next, we'll study cost and revenue, and then we'll study producer equilibrium, and after that we will begin with the supply. In this lecture, we will cover the concept of production function. Now, production is defined as the transformation of inputs into output. What are the inputs here? Inputs are the resources or the factors that are used in the production of a commodity, and output is the ultimate commodity that is produced to be sold in the market. Now, for instance, if you want to produce wheat, okay, the commodity is wheat. You want to produce wheat, you will require land, you will require seeds, manure, water, pesticides, tractor, and all these factors of production, services of the labor. So all these factors are the factors of the resources that are used in the production of wheat. So these are called inputs and the final output is the wheat. Now, clearly wheat is the output and all the resources used in the production are inputs. Now, there is a functional relationship between the factors of production and the output. Output is expressed as Y here, and the inputs that are used in production, that is factors of productions, are F1, F2, F3, Fn. Now when you use all these factors of production in certain combination, you get an output. That is what a production function reflects. The production function reflects the physical relationship between inputs and output under a given technology. Now the major assumption that we make when we study production function is that the technology is given. So the production function refers to a physical relationship between input and output under a given technology. It expresses a functional relationship between physical inputs and the physical outputs. Now, the factors of production can be land, labor, raw materials, and other factors of production. And the relationship between the two is positive. That is, when you increase the factors of production, then your output will also increase. Now, in short, the quantity of output is a function of factor inputs like land, labor, machinery, raw material, and there's a direct relationship between amount of input and the amount of output produced. That is, an increase in the input brings out an increase in output, and a decrease in input will bring out a decrease in output. Now, the form of a production of a firm is determined by the current state of technology that the firm is engaged in, or the current state of technology of the economy, and the time span which is given to the production function in carrying out the production. Now, there are two types of periods, that is a long period and a short period. Now, what is a short period? In a short period, it is a period of time in which the firm cannot change all the factors of production like plants and machinery, buildings, land. Why it cannot change all these things? This is because the inefficiency of time, but it can change factors like raw material, labor, etc. Thus, in the short run, there will be some factors of production that can be changed, and the others are predetermined at a fixed level which you cannot change. The predetermined fixed level of inputs can be plant and machinery, the amount of land that you have, right? And in the long period, when you have a longer period of time, then the firm can change all the factors of production, including machines, building, organization, etc. It is a period of time during which all the supplies of production, that is the labor, plant and machinery, land, all these things can be changed to long period changes in demand. Now, though in the short period, a firm is tied with a given level of plant, but in the long period, the firm can make a larger plant for increasing output. Now, here, whenever we talk of long period or short period, they are functional and they do not refer to the calendar month or the year. This distinction depends merely upon how quickly your factors of production can be changed by the producers in the industry. Okay, now the important thing that we have to keep in mind is that the state of technology is fixed here. So the production form of the firm will depend on the state of technology of the industry and the time span, that is whether they can change all the factors of production or not, or the long span. Okay, with this we end the concept of production function. In the next lecture, we will cover the relationship between total physical product, average physical product, and marginal physical product.